some barren. Perhaps they would share their findings, assembling some vast repository of the knowledge of countless worlds. They might compile an Encyclopedia Galactica. Suppose we could browse through that encyclopedia. We would choose some nearby province of the galaxy, a region that's fairly well explored, and then slowly leaf through the worlds. The young Champollion was inspired by reading Fourier's description of Egypt. Imagine the impact on us if we could study a rich compilation of not merely one world, but billions. Just possibly, not too far from our solar system, we might find a planet with a technical civilization only a little more advanced than we. Let's look them up in the Galactic Encyclopedia. What would a civilization far more advanced than ours be up to? Elsewhere, there may be engineering on a scale that dwarfs our proudest achievements. There may be cultures that disassemble other planets in their system and reassemble them around their world to make a ring or a shell with their planet inside. Imagine the energy crisis of a really advanced planetary civilization. They've used up all their fuels, they depend on solar power. But their growth is still severely limited by the energy available. An enormous amount of energy is generated by the local star, but most of the star's light doesn't fall on their planet. So perhaps they would build a shell to surround their star and harvest every photon of sunlight. Such beings, such civilizations, would bear little resemblance to anything we know. Perhaps someday there will be an entry in the Encyclopedia Galactica for our planet. Or perhaps even now there exists somewhere a planetary dossier garnered from our television broadcasts or from some discreet survey mission. They might summon up the index of blue worlds in our province of the Milky Way until they came to the listing for Earth. What would they know about us? what would they think of us? We have always watched the stars and mused about whether there are other beings who think and wonder. In a cosmic setting vast and old beyond ordinary human understanding, we are a little lonely. In the deepest sense, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence is a search for who we are. Since Cosmos was first released, interest in UFOs has persisted. It seems to me that there are fewer sightings of strange objects in the skies these days, and more stories about personal encounters with alleged extraterrestrials, like the account of Betty and Barney Hill that we dramatized. There are still people who claim to have been abducted by aliens, or even sexually abused, or even impregnated by them. Best-selling, purportedly serious books have been written about such claims. But the critical fact remains that all we have still is just anecdote. There are no close-up photographs, no artifacts, nothing that would convince a skeptic. All there are is stories. And stories just aren't good enough on a matter of this importance. I'm still waiting for hard evidence. The radio's search for extraterrestrial intelligence has been picking up. In Harvard, Massachusetts, a radio telescope monitoring 8 million separate radio channels has been scanning the skies for signals. This program, called META, is supported entirely by the Pasadena, California-based Planetary Society, paid for by members' contributions. A similar Planetary Society search to examine the southern skies, including the center of the Milky Way galaxy, is to be performed in Argentina. These searches are, by far, the most sophisticated ever attempted. A much more sensitive program, covering almost the entire accessible radio spectrum, is to be mustered by NASA. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence is central to our understanding of the universe and our view of ourselves. It's well worth doing. But the simple fact is that while we may consider extraterrestrial intelligence highly likely, there is as yet no evidence at all that it exists. The search continues.